Well, I know it's been a while, and I've been doing a lot of crazy things this last year in 2024, but now it's 2025. And I figured I'd come back with my first video of the new year and kind of give you my insight on what I think is possibly going to happen this year. Things that some of them I hope don't happen, but the way things are going, they might happen. So let's just jump into it. I'm thinking that, again, this is just total my thoughts, what I think and what I can see coming down the road by watching some things online, by reading some articles. So just take it all as a grain of salt. This is just my prediction. And then we can go back at the end of the year and see what possibly I got right and what I got wrong. So here's what I think. I've got 10 of them, and I might have an extra one at the end. I'm not sure. I'll have to see how we go here. But for instance, I think for number one, that groceries will increase by 3% this year. I think with the tariffs going on with China, Canada, Mexico, we don't have a chance on this decreasing. And plus, why would these companies decrease when they've been making all this money off of us for 4 years? I don't see us getting any decrease in groceries anytime soon. With most of our meat, beef, and poultry, some of our poultry, not all of our poultry, coming from overseas, yeah, you got tariffs on the majority of those countries. So they're not going to go any lower. It's only going to get more expensive. So if you got a chance before all this takes place, maybe go buy a side of beef and stick it in your freezer. Or, pork, most of the pork is actually grown or raised local in the States anyway. So pork is probably going to be the cheap meat for this upcoming year. But chicken, eggs, that type of stuff, if you can get it, you can freeze eggs if you want to. You can freeze eggs. So that's number one. Be ready for groceries not to go down, but only to go up. Number two, more bad news. I think with right now gas being at on the average across the country $3.04 a gallon, I think this year with Trump getting in the office, him possibly opening up the pipelines again, us drilling more on our own soil, you should see gas go down slightly. I don't think it's going to go back down to this pre-COVID and pre the Biden administration. I don't think it's ever going to be that low again. But I'm hoping it gets down to about the 230 mark. But again, we'll see. I'm not, that optimistic about it, but it'll go down slightly. But natural gas, that's where you're going to have a problem. I think that's going to be on the increase. So if you're actually using natural gas for your house, I think you're going to see a major increase on that this year. Number three, the weather. Craziness. They said that 2024 was the hottest year on record. Of course, to me they say that every year, hottest year on record. Well, I guess that's kind of true because it keeps getting hotter and hotter. But I think this year we're already seeing it towards the end of 2024 with crazy weather happening. I think, due to, what I mean by going, the climate change, I think you're going to see some crazy weather coming up, crazy, massive blizzards. I think you're going to see some really nasty spring storms. And then once you get into the summertime with the heat of the weather, you're going to see a lot of like tornadoes and stuff like that. I'm not the type of guy of doomsday type of thing. I just think you need to be prepared for that type of stuff. You can't control everything. You can't control the weather, so they say. But that being said, I think you need to be ready for all that. Number four, this one I think is going to be uh, kind of a steering point, a rudder for the year. I think you're going to see a lot of unrest politically, not only in the States, but around the world. I'm going to go ahead and predict that a couple things are going to happen. Um, Foreign countries, you're going to see some major leaders possibly be removed from office or possibly have um, a vote out of non confidence. You're already seeing that in some countries. So that's going to be something that will be, you know, that I think we should need to watch out for. I also think either domestically or worldly, you're going to see an assassination attempt again on a world leader. And it possibly might go through. I hate to say that, but it's true with the way that the tension is across the world. You're only going to see things heat up even more as Trump gets back in office and he starts getting his um, mandates going and all his, laws that he wants to, presidential executive orders back into place. I think you're going to see some pretty nastiness going on the global scale. So I'm not saying the smaller countries that's going to happen, but I think you're going to see it on the bigger players. Us. I think you're going to see overseas with Germany and Russia, possibly China, Taiwan with all that craziness going on. And I also think you're going to possibly see a bigger war happen. Um, I do think as we get further on, you'll see I've got some other things that'll pertain to that. Something that I think that number five, that I think will be really huge this year, will be the advancement in AI. I think you're going to see AI a ton in public life, such as healthcare. You're seeing advancements right now with healthcare that are just crazy what AI is doing. Um, you're going to see it in public and private education. A lot of online advancements for studying and possibly at home, like homeschool advancements. So I think you're going to see a major jump in AI advancement. So that's number five. Number six, if you play the stock market, I think you're going to see the stock market possibly by the trends that are going right now. I think you're going to see the stock market most likely around springtime, April or May, reach some crazy highs. Um, I'm not sure it's going to stay there. I think once you see what the Fed's going to do, the Fed's probably going to do some cuts in rates. I think you're going to see them, you know, try to make things look like they're good. But what's going to happen is they're going to try to cut rates to where people are like, "Ooh, things are getting better." And to me, that's going to be a false flag. And then I think the market by the end of the summer is just going to bomb. I think you're going to see a major tank in the market by the end of the summer. So be careful. If you play the market, I'm getting into it a little bit with some AI stuff and some technology things, and possibly gas with the way that gas is going to be probably working locally, or not locally, but in the states. Um, you know, play the market really close to the cuff. Don't go crazy. It's just like gambling. You take a chance. Now into the war sector. Number seven. I think the Ukraine war will come to an end very fast. I think by probably the end of February, that'll be done. I think you're going to see a lot of, even though I think I heard towards the end of last year, Trump said he's still going to kind of finance some things over there in Ukraine. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he was just playing the long game with the guy. I think he's going to cut off funding, and I think they're going to be like, either you end the war or we're out. We're done. So that's number seven. Number eight, I think all J6 people will be pardoned. I think that all that stuff will be kind of brought to the surface. Um, Things that were done behind the scenes that they tried to cover up. But I think all the J6 guys that did stuff that was kind of minor, I think that they'll be all pardoned. I mean, I'm not sure of all of them, but I think majority of them will be. Number nine. Um, this has to do with the hostage. I think by March, this is easy. I mean, it's no brainer. I think with what Trump has planned for the Middle East, I think you're going to see the hostages be released right away. I think all that will be taken care of in no time. Number 10, and this probably might be the last one, but I think I might have one more after that. Number 10, and God, I hope this doesn't come true, but with the signs that you're seeing them with all this, bird flu and the all the other stuff that, like, I think right now overseas they've got some things that are going on, sickness wise. I think you're going to see what the WHO is calling out as disease X. I think you're going to be seeing that make its ugly head early spring. I hope not, but be prepared. If you can go to the store and get some supplements, you might want to go ahead and tighten up that and get things set up, because I think disease X is going to be um, something that's going to push some buttons. So just be careful with that. Keep your eyes out for that, like early spring, because that's usually when people start getting the flu and all that. Lastly, again, if you are into I guess the stock market or precious metals, I think that silver and gold is going to go crazy. Um, I get into that, a lot. So I think right now, number one, if you can afford silver, which majority of everybody can afford at least 1 ounce of silver. If you can get 1 ounce of silver, you're ahead of the game. So I would say go ahead, and if you can get into silver, buy it now, because I think right now it's at about $29 an ounce. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think by the end of this year, you're going to see silver anywhere between $30 and $50 an ounce. It's already at 29, so 30 is not a problem. So let's just go ahead and say 40 to 50. I think you're going to see it stay up there. Silver's going to stay up there. I don't see silver coming back down to pre-pandemic stuff like in the 18s. No, you're never going to see that again. I think it's definitely going to be in the $40 to $50 range. Gold, I think right now it's at about $2,600 an ounce. Um, I can't afford that right now, but I know there's some people that play in the gold, but I think gold is going to jump up to about $3,000 an ounce. I don't know if it can sustain through the long haul at that. I think it will come back down a little bit, but if you can jump into gold, do it. Um, that's what I think it's going to be at. So that's that, again, that was just 10 of my ideas, anywhere from groceries and gas to the political side of things, stock market, wars that are going on right now, and this potential illness that's coming around. Keep that in mind. Keep everything close to your chest. You know, just be aware of what's going on around you. That was my top 10 things that I think will probably, hopefully, maybe not happen. And then we'll come back at the end of the year, take a look, see where I was, and we'll go from there. But as I always say, we'll see you the next time. Go on, have fun. Have a good day.